The national championship is here. TCU versus Georgia. I'm Austin, joined by Logan. Today, we're going to give out our favorite picks. But first off, Logan, we got to recap how the semifinals did. You went 2-0. One of your picks was official. One was a lean. I went 1-1. We squad ride with Ohio State getting the cover. But this is a big time game. The spread's 12.5. TCU is the underdog here. It's going to be a fun game to watch on Monday night. But first off, I want to know what you're looking for, what you saw in semifinals, and what you're looking forward to for this game.
Yeah, Austin, I mean, this game should be exciting. Maybe the line doesn't really indicate that because, as you mentioned, seeing that double-digit spread, I am a little bit concerned about TCU. Is this Vegas telling us that their Cinderella, run is going to end? Maybe. Because TCU, to me, they've always just been that team that just finds a way to win. Here they are, Sonny Dykes and that program in the national championship game. What a story they are. But Georgia is the tested team in this one. So me, Austin, with my SEC bias, there's potential for me to lean Georgia in this one. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Georgia might be able to handle these Horned Frogs.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game because, like you talked about, TCU's been upsetting. They've been backs against the wall many times this season, led by Max Duggan, the quarterback that – and when things are going wrong, he manages to make plays. And no one gave him a chance to take down Michigan. They went in there. They were up early in that game, had to fight off a late Wolverine comeback. And they were able to get done, scoring 51 points. I think the most Michigan had given up in a hot minute. But this is going to be a good time game. This is going to be a lot of fun. You see, obviously, TCU sitting at 13-1. They did lose. The only game they lost was their conference championship game. There's a lot. I see a lot of people are going to be on TCU money line. We see people all over Georgia. And Logan, do you think the TCU Horned Frogs can pull off a miracle? Can they go to 14-1? They were 201 to win the national championship this season. I don't remember Georgia's odds entering the year, but it was probably less than 2-1 just because they're the reigning national champs. Who are we riding with for this game? I'll let you take it away.
We are riding with the Georgia Bulldogs, and I'll take them minus 12.5. I will lay all the points. This spread can fluctuate any way it wants, 13.5, whatever. I will still take Georgia in this one. Look, last week, Georgia got by the skin of their teeth, the field goal that didn't even come close to escape Ohio State. I think that Ohio State game kind of refocused this Georgia team, right? We saw the spread was kind of low in that one for a reason, right? Vegas knew Ohio State would be competitive. They have athletes, to compete with Georgia. But this TCU team, I think, is going to be pushed around, and it starts with up front, right? I think Georgia will be able to dominate up front in a fashion that Ohio State was able to exploit, right? Ohio State, they did whatever they wanted offensively against that Georgia front. And I just don't think TCU is going to do that. Max Duggan is very talented. They've got a ton of explosive plays. In that game versus Michigan, it was kind of crazy. It was just ping pong offense scoring like that. I would be really shocked if Georgia, comes out and doesn't be able to game plan against that. Georgia's, as I mentioned, their coaching staff is tried and they've won the national championship. They are trying to do something that is hard to do, which is repeat because you got the big target on your back. But this TCU team, I think, is not ready. If we want to look at statistically, right? Let's look at Georgia versus TCU, offense versus defense, right? TCU's strength obviously is their offense, fifth in scoring offense on the year. That's really good. But Georgia's defense, even though they got exploited by Ohio State, they're still second in scoring defense, first in rushing yards allowed. They can, sort of pin their ears back and just be hunting Max Duggan. I think this game's going to escape from TCU really early. And Austin, I know you and I were talking a little bit about alt spreading this one. I just think it's Georgia by multiple scores, and I think they cover that 12.5 pretty easily in this one. I think it's Bulldogs.
Yeah, Logan, I hate to go against the Horned Frogs, the underdog that they are entering the year 201. That's awesome. If TCU comes out here and wins, can't be mad. But I'm on the same page as you. I think the Georgia Bulldogs come out here. I don't think they make this line sitting at 12.5, 13.5 on some books. They don't make it that low high in a national championship game. They know people are going to want to take the points, take the underdog. And you look at that TCU versus Michigan game. How did TCU win that one? It was honestly mostly on the ground. Max Duggan made some plays, but he only threw for 225 yards, completing less than 50% of his passes. He had 2 interceptions. How'd they win? They ran for 263 yards. Look, they were dominant. They had 150 yards on the ground, and then even their star running back got hurt in that game. They still ran all over the Michigan defense. Now, yes, I think Georgia's going to be up for the game plan. And you're right. They kind of got punched in the mouth last week. They were like, if Georgia had been riding their high horse all year long, they're like, no one can touch us. We're the reigning champs. Get off of us. They survived some games against Missouri and whatnot on the road. And then they kind of came into that Ohio State game not really knowing what they're coming up against. They just saw, Ohio State get beaten down over a month ago by Michigan. They're like, whatever. We smacked Michigan last year. We don't have to worry about Ohio State. They had CJ Stroud. They were going up and down. And I think Stetson Bennett and this team has a lot more playoff experience, obviously, and they'll be ready for Max Duggan and this team. And we think about, how does TCU score a lot of points? They got to run the football, and Max Duggan has to make a lot of plays. And I just don't know if he's going to be able to make all those plays against these elite Georgia linebackers and secondary. I want to root for TCU, but I think my brain has to tell me we're going to take Georgia minus the points.
I want to root for TCU as well. Being a Florida football fan, it pains me to see Georgia so good. But I know how good Kirby Smart is, right? I kind of look at Kirby Smart as like the best coach in college football these days. I know that's sacrilegious to say he's better than Nick Saban, but in this era, I think this is going to be the decade of Kirby Smart in Georgia. He recruits well. He has athletes at every single position, as you mentioned, right? Let's talk about explosive plays. You think Kirby Smart's going to let TCU just get those, 40, 50-yard tight touchdown plays? Absolutely not. Georgia's defense, 12th in yards per play allowed. TCU's offense, 11th in yards per play. That lets you know everything right there. Georgia is not going to get beat deep. They're probably going to play some sort of, pick us apart, Max Duggan. And honestly, if Georgia wins that upfront battle, Max Duggan's going to be very uncomfortable in the pocket. There's a lot of pathways to victory for Georgia in this one. And the last point of note doesn't have anything to do with the game at all, but Mattress Mac, I'm coming for you, man. Everyone knows the old man that throws way too much money on bets. He's always in the news for it. Yeah, he got me and my Phillies in the World Series. If you guys were watching our baseball videos, I thought he would jinx them, but he's jinxing the hell out of TCU, and it's gonna be Georgia, and finally Mattress Mac's gonna lose money, and all is gonna be right in the world.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think that was Mattress Mac's first ever win, first ever bet cash. Hey, props to him. Right? Cashed out big, took Vegas. Took a lot of money from Vegas, but he's also given them a lot of money. So that's our favorite pick, Logan. I don't know when the next video we will see you on. Obviously, we have baseball season rapidly around the corner. It's been a great college football season. Do you have some parting words for the people out there? Because there are always people asking where you at. They think you're not here anymore.
I'm alive and well, and I do some behind the scenes stuff, and sometimes you and I collab a little bit for the NFL spread picks. So I'm in the background. If you want to see me on camera, you're gonna have to wait for baseball season for that. But yeah, Austin, this has been a really fun college football year. Again, another year under our belts, learning a lot of new things. For all of you guys that have watched this channel, there's a lot to learn in college football because it's not easy to bet. When you bet on kid athletes, yeah, it can be dicey at times. So we definitely learned, and hopefully we finish the season out strong.
Yeah, if there's anything I learned about this season, it's expect the unexpected. So if TCU pulls off the upset, that would be a great end to a wonderful college football season. We'll be back in, obviously, next August for some more college football picks. But you guys know you're going to see all the daily videos on the Call on Our Shot channel. We appreciate you. From Logan, from Austin, we're signing out. We'll see you guys back again in August and probably in April when we start doing some more college baseball picks. See you guys later.